So, like what we were saying in the internet, is that we'd get behind him no matter how, if he goes full out on this immigration ban and all of it. It's a shame he's only been in there for about a year, and all these kind of urgent things have already happened. It seems like there's more urgent things faster now, or maybe we're just paying more attention than before. Most people, anyway. It's hard not to. In the world of politics, just every single day there's something, unlike never before, unlike no other time. And it's never been this interesting. And then a lot's good, and then what's bad, I see him trying to fix. And I see it's good to see more people kind of waking up to this. They're saying like, wherever this religion of peace goes, there's not much peace. And it doesn't change. Just like they don't talk about this, but this could be YouTubed. I watched a video on it about a month ago in Dearborn, Michigan. There's this other no-go zone Islamic community that they claim doesn't exist in the United States, and these Muslims, they're just not interested in anything. They say that they don't speak English, of course. They never talk to anybody else. They don't go into the community. It's just nothing at all. And of course many of them are on welfare. If people want to know the reason why do they stay if they don't seem to like it, well, first of all, there's that colonization kind of reason, and also because they're encouraged to. They stay here for free, so of course they're going to keep staying. They get in, and then they have more of them, and they just never leave. And same with they come as refugees. I never hear about them returning. I never hear about a deadline, how long they stay, or anything like that. I never hear about if their country's safe again, if they can go. That's never brought up, and if you do bring it up, the left screams about it, and a lot of these weak Republicans have given in and still give in. And that's a lot of the problem up there. A lot of them are just weak. A lot of, I'm not sure the number, maybe not half and half, but some of them, they're against this agenda. The other ones, like Rand Paul, they're just weak. I was surprised about him the other day. He did this interview, and he was saying that, well, he's not sure yet if Trump's going to run for the re-election. Well, what's he doing these fundraisers for every single week? And every time he does one, people cheer and meet him, like at the airport out there waiting just to see. And then he goes and he still gets normal people, but he charges like $250 to $1,000 and up to go to it. And he's doing that. What do they think he's doing that for? Keeping it for himself? That's part of the re-election campaign that he declared he's going to run again on January 20th, Inauguration Day. And if that can be looked up, that's the first time that it has ever been declared so soon. So that Rand Paul, a lot of people like him. He seems okay, but I mean, he was wrong. He may not be sure, but I mean, he would be sure if he'd look, if he'd pay any kind of attention. And then he says, well, I try not to comment on character. Well, then don't. That kind of like inching your way under, oh, well, I try not to, when you're doing it right then. If you really tried not to, you just wouldn't say anything at all. And like I say, a lot of people like him. He seems okay. Well, he needs to get behind Trump at this time, not talk about this petty stuff that doesn't matter at all, and what the base obviously doesn't care at all about. The base likes the character. That's a lot of what drew us to him. That's why we know that even with these Muslim attacks, that we feel safer than what we would. Well, if somebody like that Paul was in there, we feel if anyone's going to do something about it, it will be him, based on the responses and all. So that's just unnecessary to not stand behind him if you're part of this America First agenda, and if you run on similar beliefs to this. Now's the time. Just like there's Sessions in there, and then there's Bannon and a lot out here, and then next Moore's ahead by 17 points at least. So he'll have more people like that in there. But anybody who does support this, it's like just to get it together. And if you're not going to come out being supportive, that's just kind of like this sort of backstabbing in a way. If you give an interview with all this ambiguity about it, which you must have known. If you didn't know, even if you didn't know, that's just kind of strange to say. So I mean, he deals with all that, then these surprise terror attacks and all this other stuff going on. And so that's just, this immigration is one extra thing that we don't need, and we brought it upon ourselves by not having that merit-based system. And that went away with the 1965 Immigration Act, and it really hasn't been better as a result. I mean, just because somebody's family member's here doesn't mean that they should automatically come, that they'll just be great. They should go back to doing it the way that the people who built this country had to do it. I mean, the people that built this country, it was no easy feat to get in here. And then once they got in here, they made it what it is today. They made it into this great civilization of the West. And so, I mean, if you have ancestors that did that, it makes sense if you don't want to just hand it over to, honestly, to people that didn't do that, just like other countries wouldn't want that either. And so I think that all that can be taken into consideration, and it's okay to say. And it should be okay to say. Just like anything anyone said is less dangerous than what terrorists do, than people that are violent, than people that plan to hurt other people. Saying it and talking about it, even if some of it's wrong what people are saying, it's just saying, it's words, it's putting it out there, it's getting people to think. And that's a lot less dangerous than ever wanting to hurt somebody. And it's just so ironic that the liberals get more upset about words than they do about actual attacks, actual killing. Like this weekend, the Tennessee thing, they weren't happy. And also a lot of conservatives too weren't too happy about the rally, because it was the fringe and they turned it into the White Lives Matter, and we're protesting refugees, and they were doing that to show that Antifa were the violent ones at Charlottesville. And that was true, actually, because at this rally only one got arrested, and it was an Antifa. And other than that, there weren't many counter-protesters, I heard. And then the funny thing is, though, that well, when the normal alt-right tries to have a get-together, they unite the right, and they do it for a good cause, to protest taking down the statue, that Robert E. Lee, and they go with torches, and they go and they risk it all, like that Allen, that kid with his gun and his Confederate flag. He got thrown out of his university for being there, and then he got arrested too, because those people wouldn't get out of his face there, and he didn't do anything. He was just standing there. And a lot of people got dosked, they got unmasked, and so they got afraid to do that. So they got the normal people off the street. So what do you expect to be left with? You get left with these fringe groups of it that are going to be out there, and they're going to scream White Lives Matter, and they're going to do all that, just like the Black Lives Matter people. They're out there doing worse, though, that these weren't violent at all. So even if someone disagrees with what they were doing, they were within their right to assemble and their right to speech, and they had a permit, because apparently you need a permit, I guess, to do that now. But anyway, and so there wasn't any repeat of Charlottesville, because the police did their job. There weren't that many Antifa protesters, and because I heard it was different, somehow they had more security and they vetted more the people that went in or something. But I just think it's too much, because normal citizens that just want to protest the statue and also just want to gather with just fellow alt-right. I mean, there was Trump supporters, there was all kinds of people at that statue in August doing that. The torch line was real long. The next day they were going to have speakers before they shut down. And it was just like a friendly, anything goes kind of thing. But they say don't have that. So then they have the fringe group. That's the only ones left that are going to go out. Because the other people, the regular people, they're afraid of losing their job, like a lot of them did, just for being